Hello and welcome to this week's Rugby League Coach analysis video. My name is Lee Addison from rugbyleaguecoach.com.au. We've just had the first round of Super League and it was a great round, but some teams won and some teams lost. And this week, ahead of round two, coaches will be looking at, amongst many other things, where their opposition this week conceded tries. So I've had a look at basically all the tries in Super League. Here's some select ones. Here's some patterns. Let's have a look at what emerged in the first week of Super League from tries that were conceded. Thank you for watching this week's Rugby League Coach analysis video. If you haven't already, please visit rugbyleaguecoach.com.au. If you haven't already, this is free. We're now looking at Castleford, who hosted Wigan. Wigan got the chocolates. Let's have a look at the Cass left edge defence. As you can see here, nice and flat the line. All they need to do is slide across. They could even attack. They could move forward from here because they're still well in locality of the ball. Instead, they're stationary. They paddle a little bit and the ball goes outside them, but they manage to save the day. Let's just look at that again in its entirety. As you can see, they've got it covered here. They are still very much in control of where the ball is. The ball hasn't left their control in terms of needing to scramble. I would suggest from this point they just needed to come up again. That said, the long pass that the Wigan player made allowed them to slide across. That kind of slide defence was an excellent example of it, but it happened numerous times in the Super League this weekend, so all credit to the players. That said, look how different this is now on the right edge, jumping out of the line and coming in. They didn't need to do that, and Wigan go in and score. Can you see these defenders here have both come out of the line? I've highlighted them for you so you can see why they're different to what you've just seen on the other side. This is the right edge, it isn't the left edge, but the left edge is certainly a lot more of an issue for Castleford. As you'll see here, they get breached in the midfield area, and this is a very interesting clip because when you're defending here, you don't necessarily expect there to be any attack or any attack that troubles you, and sometimes defenders can snooze a little bit, and as you can see in the middle, it looks like some defenders have got a little bit lazy in certain areas, haven't got back into the line, so Wigan chance their arm. There's a defender just come in here at the bottom of the screen. There he is, he's just come in on the fullback. I've just gone back to that clip for you, and the ball goes out and Castleford are breached on their left edge. So players turning in, players not in the line, Wigan picking that up. Let's have a look at it from a different angle. Here it is from behind the sticks. The fullback tries to stay inside the ball, but because he has, the pass has just gone back inside and Wigan score under the sticks. Here's their left edge again. Just turned in ever so slightly, and that's all it took. You'll see it better from behind. Number 6, did you just see he turned in and then turned back out again? And because he turned in a little bit, the player outside him turned in a little bit as well. He just checked his run then, and that's all it took for Wigan to score in the corner. An offload is always hard to defend against because the defence has to recalibrate, and as you can see, the Castleford left edge here is looking a little bit short. I've just counted 11 men from Castleford in the area that I'm highlighting now that are on the wrong side of the ball. It may be 10 because the picture isn't completely clear. Oh yes, it would have been 10 because we've now seen 3 defenders, and as you can see, the spacings are inconsistent here too. Castleford are playing catch up. They've held their line. Remember I said earlier they didn't come up. Once they'd held the line, I like to see players go up, out, and then up again, or up and in, and then up again, and Castleford just hung back. Now we're looking at Wakefield's edge defence, and both edges got penetrated. Now, this was a really interesting one. You can see from the spacings here, look how far apart these 2 defenders are on the left of the screen where I'm highlighting now, and also look at this defender here on the left where I'm highlighting, how he started to turn his hips in and his legs are really wide, so he can't change direction easily, and still his legs are wide. He's made a commitment to come in and then he's checked his run, and that's all the opposition player needs, the fullback in this case, to power over. Looking at it again from the back camera angle, number 11, he's sat He's in a seated position there. And I always say, if you sit too early, you're in some trouble as a defender. The legs are wide, and then he has to change direction, number 11. He's not light on his feet. Number 32, instead of staying on the inside shoulder, they are being asked to defend on the outside shoulder, so he's now got to make a decision. But this collision isn't great. He's gone for the ball. He might have been better putting the shoulder in under the ball. Number 11 has tried to go in over the top of the ball as well. The fullback was too powerful. Here's Toulouse again. This time they're going down the short side to that right edge. And I can see, even though the clip isn't clear from there, how they were stationary, legs apart again. Here, it's the opposite edge now. Again, these spacings are too big, if you ask me, from Wakefield, and I'd prefer them on the inside shoulder pushing out. Again, they're planting. Again, their legs are wide, particularly this last defender here, who's really planted. I always say it's like the old test match game where the fielders are just stationary and their legs are apart, and when the ball goes in between the legs, in the base at the bottom, that's caught out. Well, that's what he looks like. He looks like a test match defender, and because they're so spread, they get out muscled there. Here's the left edge again. Again, spread. Again, players stationary, planting, now retreating somewhat. The spacing's getting knocked out of shape. It now looks like this last defender is coming in to make a tackle, and the ball's gone over the top. Now they've overslid, and Toulouse score. Can be really preventable, all this. The Castleford line shot earlier that they saved right at the start is probably the way you want to do it, or close to it. Number 4 came in, his legs are wide. Because he'd come in and committed, it's harder for him to get out. Because he came in, his winger came in, and now they're trying to cover it. Toulouse have to be careful about the midfield snooze as well. Here it happened to them, very similar to what happened in Castleford on that clip we saw where Wigan made a break. Let's look at that again. As you can see, Toulouse have got their split slightly wrong here. There are 7 players on the wrong side of the play the ball here, leaving them short at the top of the screen as we look. So no wonder Wakefield attack this early. Middle men get tied up by the attack, and the ball comes out of the back, and it's an overlap for Wakefield. Number 19, I think that is from Toulouse, makes a poor effort on tackling. Have you noticed how many tackles that go up high are being missed? I think there's a lesson there somewhere. They need to go a little bit lower. And here's the midfield snooze again. The split slightly off. So Toulouse have to have a look at their split. And defenders are short when that happens. So as you can see, Toulouse short in numbers. They've got 4 definitely on that side of the ball. Maybe 5 if we look at this man. But the winger's dropped because we are on the 4th tackle. And because the players are stationary and they're moving up and in, they then have to readjust because they've committed, and it leaves them massively short. So Toulouse have to be careful of their split and the midfield snooze before their next game. Let me take a break to tell you about the Coach Mentor program that I offer clubs, and I also offer individual coaches. I'm a coach with experience at 2 NRL clubs, 3 World Cups and 3 elite high schools, plus so much more. And if you go to the web address that's been in the first half of the video, rugbyleaguecoach.com.au/coach mentor, you will see everything that we've got to offer. You will also notice there's a Coach Accelerator program, which is a smaller version of the Coach Mentor program. That's basically 4 mentoring sessions with me for coaches and full access to the biggest online resource in the world, rugbyleaguecoach.com.au. In terms of the Coach Mentor program, 2026 is our 4th year of doing it. We've had 8 grand final wins, 11 teams were competition runners-up, 92% of our teams were in the top 4 of their competition, but we've had 100% improvement, and that's just with individual coaches, okay? So, also in terms of individual coaches, because you've watched this video, and only for a very short time, so when you get this video, it might have gone back to the normal price, but I've made full access to the coach section of rugbyleaguecoach.com.au. I've made that $99, which is the 2017 price when we launched. Okay? So go to the web address that is now at the top of the screen as we move forward, which is rugbyleaguecoach.com.au/coach. As you can see, the eagle-eyed amongst you will have seen Hull FC conceding on their right edge to Bradford. On this freeze frame here, you will see the Hull FC right edge defence. Some of them have come in, others have hung back. Spacings are indifferent. Many teams employing the up and in defence. Great hole running from the Bradford number 4. That was my favourite try of the weekend. Here we are again, just a shift from the middle of the field. Number 10 does a great lead run for Bradford. I can't see the number there, but he did a great catch and pass. Wasn't technically perfect, but he got it out quickly. You can see this defender on the left has committed to him, though. He's done enough to engage the defender because of his depth how deep he was into the defensive line. Number 13 runs a great line, and then number 4 finishes it off. Great stuff from Bradford. Poor from Hull FC. You can see number 4 had committed there, just on the right, and was nowhere near. Here's the left hedge in trouble again. Some players are stationary, some players are mobile, moving up and in, so they're not communicating properly with each other. Let's have a look at it from behind. I'll roll it carefully. 27 has come in. He's nice and short on his feet, though. 11's committed. You could argue number 12 took him out there. That's quite interesting. Number 4, I would like him to stay with this ball carrier now. He does, and now he should detach. And unfortunately, he doesn't detach quick enough. The wing there, let's have a look. Can you see this player on the right here? I assume it's the wing. He's already committed elsewhere. His body's changed direction, so he's gone too early. He should have been square, and that allows the Bradford player to come in and offload, and Hull FC's right edge in a little bit of bother. This is a little bit different because it's an offload scenario, but all the same, the right edge gets exposed. The ball goes to the right edge. Hull FC's numbers have been knocked out of shape. I would like to see the right edge just recalibrate now, hold a line and paddle, which means just stay in a neutral position and force the attack to make a decision. Instead, they allow themselves to be dragged in and Bradford walk the ball in. Same clip here, getting it all wrong. If you're going to come in, you need to make the tackle, and that player who did a little pirouette then when he tried to make a tackle, it looked pretty, but all these players that are going high are causing themselves huge problems. Let's have a look at Bradford's defence now, and their left edge in particular. This happens a lot in the game. See this player here, who I'm highlighting now under the word edge? He's turned his back, and that's because when they come in, they don't make a tackle. And instead of making a tackle, he's decided to slide at the last minute, and the number 1 has picked that up from Hull FC and made the break that's led to the try. You'll see it here again now. This is the player we're looking at under the word edge. Yep, he took the dummy, he went. Even this defender here on the left he's defending somebody who's not got the ball. And quite often teams will exploit these areas on an up and in defence. Here, they come in quite significantly and then get caught on the outside. Look again how the Bradford defenders, there's the test match fielder, but they look a little bit short here too. 10 defenders on the wrong side of the ball there, so they are short. This defender came in and rushed and then checked his run, and unfortunately they now need to move up and out again now, and they've left too much space for the winger to get in. Now we're in York. You've seen plenty of the defending champions, Hull Kingston Rovers. One of their big problems, I feel they can be a bit aggressive, or can lack composure on their defensive line, in their defence in general. So my point being is sometimes you just got to make tackles rather than try and kill people. We're looking at the left wing here, Joe Burgess. He just comes in slightly, and there was no need for him to come in at all. And you'll see it from this clip at the back. And when players are coming up and in, they tend to think aggressively sometimes. Number 4 checked his run, but even with that, there shouldn't have been a problem. But number 5, Joe Burgess, has come in and taken the defender, which has left a space. That should never have been a try to York. Number 4 is obviously not communicating very well with number 5, Joe Burgess, there as well. So a few issues there on the edge of the Hull KR defence, and this is also lacking composure too. He got away with this, Mikey Lewis. He's not been suspended, but this just shows you the team are just a little bit too focused on being aggressive at times. In attack, Hull KR tried to go down the middle quite a lot to score tries, and this is what happened. Very clearly, York need to be a bit tougher in the middle. Look how high some of the York tacklers go. Again, if they went a little bit under the ball, put shoulders in under the ball, they may have stopped this. Instead, they got overpowered. So the York middle is definitely something that they need to work on, because you'll find Hull KR scored plenty of tries just by playing directly like this. Here's another one. too direct. And let's have a look how this came about. If York are getting beaten here now in the middle, imagine what it's going to be like as the season drags on. We can see a great view here. There's a massive gap between the ruck and this number 15, who's meant to be covering this. You see this defender got lost, the one I'm highlighting now. He got there late. Massive space there. Number 15 just comes in towards where he thinks the ball is going to go. No awareness whatsoever about which defender's outside him. This is just simply too easy. Too far spaced apart there. York Knights. Please press subscribe wherever that button is, somewhere, and make sure you don't miss any videos. Speak soon.